In the Italian capital of style and design, 3 men from the Grenfell community have come to find inspiration.
Oh look, there it is. There's the vertical forest. Wow, that's amazing.
6 members of Hissam Shaker's family were killed in the 2017 fire. Hamid Jafri lost his father. And David O'Connell is vice chair of the Residents Association.
That is beautiful.
They've all been thinking about what a memorial to Grenfell should look like. So we've brought them to Milan to take a closer look at one idea.
I like the blend of the colours of the trees and the plants.
The Bosco Verticale, or vertical forest, was designed as a home for both humans and trees. 800 of them grow here, covering the entirety of the 2 concrete towers, helping fight pollution and creating an iconic landmark. These structures inspired an idea for a Grenfell memorial. Could part of the tower in London be turned into a vertical garden, as seen in this visualisation?
Buongiorno. 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 Good morning. I am Danilo.
Here in Milan, some of the Grenfell families have come together in shared pain. A group no one would choose to be a part of. Those who have to live on, having lost loved ones in the horror of the fire. Giannino and Daniela's son and their son's girlfriend. Hylam's 12-year-old son and his son's mother.
Because he lives away from London, it doesn't mean he's disconnected from us. So their son and daughter always be remembered in our prayers, and we'll never forget them, you know.
Now the Grenfell bereaved have to find a way to remember them. Plans for a memorial are still being discussed, and different ideas are being proposed.
The tower, if safe to do so, can be preserved to a certain extent, and it's possible to do something like this on the tower.
E noi abbiamo espresso il nostro parere, che è quello di buttare sulla torre, e la nostra proposta è quella creare uno spazio dove all'esterno ci siano 72 alberi e l'albero rappresenta il green, rappresenta la purezza. Poi al centro 72 colonne in marmo bianco, il marmo bianco rappresenta la purezza, e sempre al centro o una fontana o una cascata d'acqua, perché l'acqua vince il fuoco.
I think it's quite important to keep part of what was there and transform the terror and the horror of all of that into something beautiful. And it's also really important that it's so tall and big. So it's a memorial for across all of London to remind people what happened and what must never be allowed to happen again.
And yet, only a few miles away in this same city, just last month, fire ripped through a tower with cladding on it, in echoes of Grenfell. Fortunately, here in Milan, everyone managed to escape. But questions remain about how the flames managed to spread so quickly and whether the external cladding played a role.
When I was in the street, there was just one apartment that was burning. In 10 minutes, all the facade was starting to burn.
Investigations led by a judge over the exact cause are still ongoing here. The charred out building is a reminder that all around the world, lives are still at risk in potentially unsafe buildings. Later that night, the Grenfell group are invited to join the survivors of the Milan Tower and the fire service for pizzas. It's a chance to talk to the fire chief about how they prioritised evacuating everyone here.
Noi, domenica, l'unica cosa che abbiamo voluto fare era cercare tutti loro che fossero fuori. Lunedì abbiamo cominciato a pensare di spegnere il fuoco.
I thought the fire chief was amazing, actually. He was really honest in answering any questions. After the fire brigade were kind of there to an extent, but I think there was very much a closing of ranks.
I think by the time, I think now it's 10 days, they got their answers, from the firefighter. But we, up to now, we didn't had answers from the firefighter. After 4 years, still.
The basic idea was to try to put together architecture and living nature. It's a manifesto of a different way to see how architecture can change the world.
They've asked to meet the architect behind the vertical forest.
What possibilities you can do for Grenfell Tower, something like similar to this? I know, but this is like residential, people are living, but our one is going to be a memorial.
It's very important to understand which are the structural conditions of the Grenfell Tower at the moment, so there's something that I don't know. Adding a kind of second skin or a metal grid all around the facade could be possible to make the building stable, and I think it's not up to me, and I believe that if in the future Grenfell Tower will become a monument to biodiversity, it will not thanks to us or to me, but thanks to what you will do, and so for me you are heroes.
Could you imagine it on the Lancaster West Estate?
Yes, I can imagine something like that, and I think this, you can see it here, it's full of life and people using the space and children playing, and I think this would be beautiful.
Families could have the opportunity to pick the type of plants and could grow it on the level of where the flat was.
Have you had a thought about which tree or plant might represent your family?
Yes, it would have to be the cedar tree, which is the tree of our country.
Of Lebanon?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I could just imagine the snow on it in the winter. Yeah, that would be amazing.
The memories will stay with us. At the time of the fire, I couldn't get to him, but at least the same place he died, I can sit there and I can give my respect to my dad.
The Ministry of Housing has said no decision has been taken on Grenfell Tower yet, and it's aware of how sensitive this is. It is committed to supporting a memorial. Whatever form that memorial takes, it will need to both recognise grief and serve as a reminder of an injustice that should never be repeated.